Hey, good
Hello,
morning. Happy Friday.
welcome.
How's it going,
Hey.
guys?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Thank you for being a consistent coffee breaker.
Hey,
Good
what's
to
up,
see
Sasha?
familiar faces.
Hey,
Yeah.
What are you drinking? What's up? What's new?
This is black coffee.
Straightforward. I like it.
Just a little sprinkle of cinnamon. Makes it
Oh,
taste like Christmas.
cinnamon. I love it.
Yeah.
Christmas in April.
I'm a big chai fan, so my
Oh,
coffee
yes.
has cinnamon and cloves, and it's not even coffee, it's mushroom tea, but whatever.
Where do you find that stuff? Do you have to order it?
Yeah, I get it off of like Amazon on subscribe and save because I'm really lazy. But the brand is Rasa, Rasa, and it has, all of the good mushrooms that are supposed to have all these health benefits that I can never remember. And it tastes, not like coffee, but kind of like coffee. But then I just make it like a chai and I mix chai spices with it.
That sounds
So
good.
I'm weird.
that sounds really good.
I like a dirty chai latte. That's good
Yeah,
stuff.
it's kind of like that. What about you, Sasha? What are you drinking?
I have hazelnut tea today.
Ooh.
Hazelnut is a tea?
Huh.
It's a tea with hazelnut.
I see.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Sounds delicious.
it is. I ordered a bunch of it. My boyfriend's really into tea. He doesn't like coffee at all, and I'm like a huge coffee drinker. But he had been ordering all these samples from this company that I can't remember the name of, but they had like all these fun flavors and stuff. And I tried the hazelnut one. I'm like, I could drink this every day. Like I love it because I love hazelnut coffee. But it's just like very slightly flavored
Hmm.
hazelnut tea.
Now I'm curious. There's
Cool.
a coffee shop near my place where I'm staying, and I swear I don't know what they put in their coffee, but when you walk in there, the whole place smells like hazelnut. And I asked them, I'm like, is this some sort of a hazelnut blend or something? And they're like, no, it's just the coffee. So it might just be their coffee. It might just be my sense of smell, but it smells like hazelnut coffee. So every time I go there, my order always has hazelnut in it.
Yeah.
Nice,
Love it.
nice. How was everyone's week?
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Mine's
What?
pretty
How's
long.
Ophelia, you a few weeks ago you set off and started your own thing. How's that going?
Yeah. It's slow. Yesterday though, I did do like an outdoor networking event. So that was fun and I got some new contacts. So
Oh, cool.
excited with those prospects. Yeah.
Nice.
And sorry,
This
this week I was doing that climate leadership training thing. Do you guys remember? I think Eric posted something about it, and Al Gore was doing these
Mhm.
like training sessions, and like there's steps that you have to take when you take the training before being certified. So you have to like do like a public, speech type of thing,
Mhm.
or write a blog, and you have to do these different things to get certified. So I'm pretty excited about doing that, and I'll have like an accountability group that we're
Nice.
checking in
Nice.
with every month to see what we're
Yeah.
doing. So it's cool.
Yeah, the Climate Reality Project. That's great.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Ophelia, do me a favor. I don't know if I have your email. Maybe just DM it to me or something. I want to. I'm starting. This is kind of internal for the first few months, perhaps, and then at some point we'll make it public. But I'm starting a mastermind group for climate designer founders and solo entrepreneurs, freelancers. And we're going to be meeting up once, probably twice a month, and just have a roundtable discussion and have people share out current challenges and successes and things like that and kind of learn from one another.
Okay.
So I was part of this designer founder group in SF pre-COVID, and it was super helpful. It wasn't climate specific, but it was just design founders. and we met up probably once every 2-3 months, dinner, beer, that kind of thing, and we just kind of went around. It was a little bit of facilitation,
Mhm.
but I got so much value from it, so I'm going to do the same thing for
Oh,
our
cool.
community. So I'm trying to do keep it small first, just to kind of test out the format and kind of see what works. And my idea is to either maybe turn it into a podcast so people can listen in, or maybe even invite people in the audience,
Yeah.
but it's just an experiment. But yeah, shoot me an email.
Sure.
And I just sent the initial email out to maybe 8-9 people on Tuesday. So I think we'll start sometime mid-May.
Okay, that sounds cool.
Yeah. Nice.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hey, Lindsay.
Good morning.
Welcome on in.
Thank you.
Nice.
Do you have your coffee, your tea?
I'm finishing up a little bit of my cold brew tea that I like to drink every morning, and then water.
Cold brew tea. Nice.
Yeah, I basically just stick a pitcher in the fridge every 3 days, and then I get cold green tea every morning.
That's fantastic. I'm about to transition into cold brew, mushroom coffee, chai, whatever I'm drinking.
Oh,
Because it's supposed to be 80 degrees today or tomorrow.
oh yeah, that seems like a good time for
So excited for the warm weather.
In Wisconsin,
too.
I don't know if it's like that where you are, Sasha, or anywhere else, but there's no transition. We're 30-degree days, and then the next day it's 80 degrees. There's no transition whatsoever. Just
well, I think the weather that you're getting now will probably get in 2 days or something, because yesterday it was beautiful and warm, and on Tuesday it was beautiful and warm, then it just poured down rain solid for 2 days. Now it's winter again. Now it's cold, freezing.
you have no idea. There's the week forecast, and then it might be complete opposite the next week. We don't even know.
Love spring.
It's so bizarre.
I lived in Florida most of my life, and there's no transition. It's perpetually summer there.
Yeah, that's how I'm used to California too.
Ophelia, where in Florida are you from? I'm from Florida too. Maybe we already talked about this. I can't remember.
Southwest Florida, Fort Myers, Naples area.
Oh, cool. I'm from Sarasota.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did talk about this.
Sasha, how do you think your event went?
Well, I had a lot of fun. I hope everyone else did too. We had the for you guys who weren't there, we had our Midwest meetup trivia night last night, and it was fun. It was I don't know. I was interested to see how everyone did with the questions that Alex and Eric and I wrote. So it was, I feel like it turned out pretty good. There was a good mix. People seemed to do well with different types of things. And Lindsay, we stole your icebreaker question from the Seattle chapter because I just loved it so much. Yeah.
What was the question?
Good. Yeah.
Is it a climate apocalypse? What would be your survival superpower?
Oh.
I loved that.
And also Aaliyah, my co-leader, with that one. I was trying to hook with good icebreakers, and I was nowhere near as good as she was. So Aaliyah gets that credit.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. I got to know the people on my team, and some of the rounds, the questions were just not my cup of tea at all. And then some of them I was I know about half of them, and so I'm curious, Sasha, how long did it take you all to prepare for that? What was the coming up with questions and was it hard? Was it difficult? Was it easy?
The questions were hard. They were probably the hardest part of preparing for the whole thing, but we kind of knew that. Eric and I had both hosted trivia games before, and yeah, that's why we split up the question making, because we knew that took the longest time. I probably spent a good maybe 7 hours total writing my questions, but I think that was also because every time I was coming up with a question, I would get distracted and want to read all about the information of what I was writing about, and be and then just go down this hole of reading things. So it was, there was just way more than actually writing the questions, and maybe that was just me, but I just every night this week I was working on it.
That's awesome. My group, the parts per million question, the pre-industrial and current, I totally botched it for some odd reason. I had a massive brain fart. I thought, because I was using 350.org as I was like, yeah, oh yeah, 350.org. And for some reason I was like, oh yeah, we don't want to get to 350. So I was putting everything below 350. And then as soon as we all went into the group, like when you called us back, from that particular breakout session, I realized, wait a minute, fuck, no, that wasn't, and it was too late. Yeah, I felt like an idiot.
It's okay.
But
I wouldn't have been able to answer that one at all.
yeah, but Sarah and I were talking just before you all showed up. Like it's interesting. It was a good opportunity for us, at least Sarah and I, and it would be great to hear your thoughts, Sasha. And I don't know if you, Eric, and Alex had a debrief after, but it was a good opportunity for us to see just what our members know. Like it was just a really good opportunity to gauge um, their knowledge in the space. And I loved Sarah's comment last night in the chat about like we should have a scientist come in and do a kind of a fun Q&A thing. And I think we should. I think we could definitely bring in more climate science into the community and not just talk about design. So yeah, I think it was a big insight for us about bringing in that.
Yeah,
There's always
agreed.
more to learn in climate. It's such a big thing. And I learned a lot last night. Like Sasha, you brought in that quote from the Sustainable Web Design, basically Wikipedia page. I'm like, I can't believe I've never even looked at that. But
Same here.
I love that. Like we should definitely be promoting just that quote. You know, humanity doesn't have a pollution problem. It's a design problem.
Yeah, we
That's
should.
so powerful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
William McDonough is he's an interesting cat. I remember reading Cradle to Cradle in design school, and that was one of the things that kind of shifted me towards this space. And I've seen him speak a few times and read a number of his articles. He gets it. You know, he sees the big picture of it all.
Yeah. But yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of room for growth in our community. Like there were definitely people who knew like the pop culture stuff that I didn't know, but then didn't know that much about the science, or people who nailed the science but then didn't know that much about the design aspect, or vice versa. So there's like a lot of gaps in the community's knowledge about this field, which of course is vast and everyone can always learn more. So I love the trivia format. That's why I asked about how difficult it is to put together, because I kind of think like it would work really well for a more regular event, just to educate people and get people having fun and get people to know each other. Socializing. It's just like it covers all the bases. It's just brilliant. I guess that's why trivia night is a thing.
And if I can, yes, and that. So Lindsay and I had a call, I think right before trivia night, actually, and Lindsay and I had a call talking about a number of things. One of them being, Lindsay, as you showed last Friday during the coffee break, the mural board that you use for Seattle, and I thought it would be a really great thing to add that to the small but hopefully growing collection of resources that our chapter leaders can use from one another, And so Sasha, I made a note last night to reach back out to you and your team about like maybe there's a way to kind of package your planning, instructions, all this stuff up so that it's available for any chapter leader, to
Yes.
use. So anyway, we should definitely connect and figure out like how to package it up.
Yeah, absolutely. We did a pretty good job at like keeping everything documented and stuff in one place too. So it's like pretty close to go if anybody else wanted to just take everything, including the graphics and everything, and do their own thing.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I think
Love it.
it's a really great format for meetups. And if anyone is thinking about starting a chapter or is already a chapter host and looking for ideas for things to do, we're definitely trying to put together meeting format structure and idea just to make it really easy for people, because I don't want the chapter host to have to spend a whole lot of time thinking about and planning the meeting. I'd rather that they spend their time connecting with their communities and doing cool stuff.
Yeah, I showed Lindsay this. I sent her the link, but I'm going to share this out next week. I created a little wiki page for all the chapter leaders. So it's a page unlisted on the website, but if you have the link, you can just keep a bookmark, but it has all the links to everything you need for chapter leaders to plan events. So my goal is for both chapter leaders and even like our core team of people. For example, Cynthia Burton, who some of you probably remember from the conference, she raised her hand and she's going to be our overseer of designing merch. So she's going to be working with the volunteer designers on cool stuff. So she's going to kind of take over that. But I want to have like her work with us be super streamlined. I want to have your work with us be super streamlined. So like what Sarah said, we can focus on the fun stuff, you know, and build this thing out in a yeah, really fun way.
Awesome.
Anyone have any questions or burning things on their mind that you want to talk about today?
No questions. Have you guys heard of the blue raspberry design?
I
No?
think I just did because you shared something.
Yeah, she's doing like this 7-day challenge. It's basically just like an email thing where you green your website. So it makes it less, I guess, intensive for servers and stuff, and uses less energy if you do these things that she suggests in her 7-day challenge. So that's what I mean, if you look up green graphic design, she's probably number 2 that shows up on Google. So she seems pretty nice.
Cool.
That maybe we should probably invite her, or I can tell her about this. I don't know that she knows about you guys.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
yeah.
Yeah, bring her in.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Great.
Where is she
Climate.
based?
I want to say somewhere in the Midwest. I
Oh,
just
is it
don't know.
Emma?
I don't know what her first name is. I don't think it's Emma. It's Amy. Amy's her first name.
Oh, the second thing that came up for me was Little Fox Design. which is
Oh,
Emma.
Little Fox. Yeah. No, she's collaborated with Little Fox. I think Blue Raspberry is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, Emma came and spoke at one of our events very early on, one of our first meetups. She's
I
really
was
cool. She
curious.
does a green graphic design class.
Do we already have green web hosting for the climate designers website?
We use Squarespace, you know. My take on the green web hosting is if you have a website where like millions/billions of people are visiting it every day, then yes, absolutely worry about your hosting and get that under control. And I would just love that all of our electricity be green, so we don't have to think about that kind of thing. You know, if you're a small, like when we started our website, we didn't even know if anybody was going to come and visit it. Like, just get something out there as quick as possible.
Yeah.
Like, don't let that hold you up. And then once you grow to have like millions of hits every day, and that server intensity actually becomes impactful, then absolutely look into alternatives that are green, or focus all of your energy on getting all of the grids transition into renewable energy.
Yeah,
That'd be funny.
Squarespace wasn't ever meant to be like the permanent home. It was really just used to put the landing page up, and then we started to realize, oh, I guess we should like start building this site out. But we have like, and this is in you know, kind of the back burner, but we have some ideas on how to improve the site. I mean, it would be great to have like, you know, the featured profile stuff. If we can like make it into like a Behance type of like website, you know, where people can have a login account and all that stuff. Like, so we definitely have big visions for it. It's really just bandwidth and resources and all that. So if we were to ever work with someone to help reimagine the website, then totally, yeah.
Actually, I just thought of something that could be hugely impactful. You know, we use Squarespace, and so do how many other millions probably of website hosts. You know, individually, they're all usually pretty small. But if we were to say, you know, at a certain point, if we have like enough members and enough clout and enough traffic, we could say like, hey, Squarespace, we are, you know, the climate designers organization. We want our web hosting to be totally sustainable. Why not shift your servers or whatever you have to do to be, 100% renewable energy. And if we could, I don't know, maybe we'd have to partner with a bunch of other people, but like pressure Squarespace to do that for all of their hosts, like, boom. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about.
Yeah,
How many
you just,
times
like-
have you seen a Squarespace ad from like a YouTube creator? They're just all over the place.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking up Squarespace sustainability, and I have to.
They don't really have one. don't they?
Yeah. So I like Sarah's idea. I'm all about like cold emailing folks and being like, hey, like, let's talk. So I'm yeah, maybe there's a petition or something. I have some contacts down in Australia. I don't know if you've seen this floating around on the web. It was the podcastdeclare.org, I believe. And it was a bunch of podcast hosts who were wanting to put pressure on Apple to add a climate category in the podcast iTunes
Ooh.
page or whatever. And unfortunately, they didn't reach the signatures that they wanted, maybe even needed, because one of the creators of it had like we didn't reach our goal, but we're not stopping. But if we can create an effort like that, I'm sure we can move the needle. So yeah, maybe I'd like to explore that.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I want to focus. I want to just get everybody's energy focused on really big changes. I mean, it's really good to educate yourself about which design choices are more or less sustainable, but when you're talking about like 0.000000003% of carbon emissions, and it's going to take a lot of extra energy for you to redesign and move your website and blah, 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 blah. Like, is it worth it? Probably not. So really, when you're educating yourself about these things, also educate yourself about the impact that these choices make relative to other things that you could be focusing on, and try and find the impact choices that are more like 1% or 5% or 50%. Where are the big leverage points that you can put pressure on and rally together to actually make huge changes? Because that's the kind of change we need to make right now. 20 years ago, 50 years ago, yes, we needed to make small incremental changes and make our whole life more, do less damage. But at this point, we've got to move faster, and we've got to make a bigger like slashes of impact fast.
I agree with that. And also, like, I think I want to do this for my own website, just to have the habit of,
yeah, exactly,
looking for things to improve, and just having that mindset, I guess, for myself. And then I guess that will, affect the people around me, hopefully.
Yeah, and that's just
So.
your way of educating yourself, and that's totally fine. But at the same time, like, we are all limited to the same 24 hours in a day and the same amount of energy, and we have to be careful about where we put that. I do anyway. I have a ton of chronic illnesses and limited energy, so I think about that a lot. Like, where is the best use of my energy today?
Yeah, I totally agree about like find the leverage points, like maximize where you can have impact with your efforts. I am curious because like some of the ideas that came up around our chapter started to like tip into that category of like individual action versus sort of like how can our professional design work make an impact. So I feel like I'm a little bit grappling with like, where should we draw that line? Like, how much should we let our chapter venture into that realm of individual action, even though we know the impact is small?
I think individual action is really important when it creates trends that put pressure on industry or politics. So in that case, it can be very impactful. So just look for examples where that can come into play. And then I think you have a bit of educating to do, because the environmental movement has been educating people for the last 50 years that it's all individual action in your own carbon footprint. And this is actually, we've learned that this is sort of a tactic that fossil fuel companies have pushed to shift the blame away from themselves. I mean, at the same time, like there's this huge debate and kind of stupid stuff that people say where they're like, what is it? 70% of all carbon emissions come from corporations, not individuals. And you're like, go tear down the corporations. But then if you look at which corporations those are, they're power companies providing power to individuals and industry. And so at the end of the day, it also comes back to individual demand and turning off your lights at night and blah, blah, blah. But you have to be able to translate individual action to the large scale action, either through collective putting pressure on brands or cities or politics, or the trends that we do in our culture. Just like, think about educating people as your individual action is part of a larger thing.
Yeah, I think that's a helpful reframe, that it's like, it's not because people are like scattered, it's because everyone's been taught to think that individual action is the way to make a difference, instead of like seeing the reality for what it is. I personally have like worked up my own like philosophy about like reasons why individual impacts matter that have nothing to do with the direct impact. Like your behavior shapes what you believe about yourself and who you are. You can influence other people by showing that you think the environment's important. You can take money away from businesses that are not caring and send money to businesses that do care. So like those are the reasons I do individual action, like regardless of impact. And then I give myself a pass when I'm like, I'm too tired to clean this one thing out. So I'm just gonna put it in the trash and it's fine.
I use Amazon, subscribe and save, and it's not great, but I have multiple chronic illnesses and like I don't have time for shit.
Yeah, no, I think we've got no time to like guilt ourselves to death over like not doing everything that you possibly can, because it's an
I just listened to an episode of How to Save the World, and they were just talking about this. It was called "Is Your Carbon Footprint BS?" or something like that. It was really good. You should listen to it.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I brought that up a couple weeks ago.
That's
a great episode.
An instructor of mine way back in design school, and he was very much about like social design, social impact, and he was one of my kind of mentors back in the day. He said something, there's so much wrong in the world. There's so many challenges that need to be addressed and whatever, and at times it can feel overwhelming, but you as an individual just have to pick your battles, because you can't do it all yourself. And so just that's how I kind of approach this. Like, I'm doing as much as I can over here, and if I do slip up over there, then that's okay, because I am knowing where my attention is being applied to. And yeah, we just can't. I think that's one of the worst things we can do, is hold ourselves accountable for everything, because that will just exhaust us, and then we don't see progress, and then we get depressed or pissed off, and then we tend to just walk away, and that's not what we need. We need more people to step up and stay in the game.
This feels like group therapy for me.
Good.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
That was one of the ideas that came up actually. Our chapter brainstorm is one of our Seattle members. They do like healing sessions for people who like work in the climate space, because it's just like so freaking hard. And I'm like, oh, maybe we do need some of those. That sounds good.
Yeah, a book I read recently is called Trauma Stewardship, and it's about exactly that. Climate trauma and just social change trauma is real, and nobody's perfect, and everybody's feeling either guilt or seeing other people going through trauma, and it's something that you have to learn to steward, just like tending your compost pile. And there's a skill to that, and I think that's maybe some of us, that's our sacred work.
Yeah, I love that. And I just realized I have a client meeting starting like right now.
Yes,
I'm gonna go.
It is the top of the hour.
Thanks, everyone.
This has been a great discussion.
It was.
Thank you all.
Good seeing you guys
today.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Good chatting. Happy
Bye.
Friday.
Bye.